Apple's advertising campaigns are flat out brilliant. Take for example their most recent ad for the iPhone 6s. The only thing that's changed is everything. In other words, that $700 smartphone you bought less than a year ago is now obsolete. Time to get a new one, or so Apple hopes. Don't do it. It's really not all that, in my humble Android opinion. It's hard to believe that certain technologies that seem so amazing could so quickly end up being one of those posts on Facebook. Like if you know what this is. And in the blink of an eye, certain spiritual gifts will someday become obsolete. That's exactly what Paul tells us will happen in 1 Corinthians. Love never fails. Love never fails. It never fades out or becomes obsolete or comes to an end. As for prophecy, the gift of interpreting the divine will and purpose, it will be fulfilled and pass away. As for tongues, they'll be destroyed and cease. As for knowledge, it will pass away. It will lose its value and be superseded by truth. Love will go the distance now through eternity, but our now pixelated view of God will come into absolute glorious clarity when we stand in the presence of Jesus, and the exquisite gifts designed to help us see God more clearly will become obsolete. Selah, pause and think of that. What a moment that'll be. And then Paul adds this: when I was a child, I talked like a child. I thought like a child. I reasoned like a child. When I became a man, I did away with childish things. Paul makes an excellent point when referring to Christian maturity. Why would we hang on to gifts, even spiritual gifts, that we no longer need? That would be like spiritual hoarding. God is the ultimate gift giver, and He gives us exactly what we need when we need it. Some gifts we hang on to for a lifetime. Some are only meant for a season. After marinating for a while in 1 Corinthians 13:11, I began to reflect on my childhood, growing up physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Have I put away childish things, or do I still have a few security blankets hidden in my closet? Before I even knew God, He was there, making good on His Psalm 139 promises. He was there when I was conceived by a couple of teenagers. He was there when I was in foster care. He was there planning and recording all the days of my life. He was there even in the house of rage. He has always been there, carefully, quietly wooing me to Himself and standing guard over my young life, delivering care packages to the doorstep of my heart, containing survival gifts woven into my DNA that would see me through long before I could recognize His presence and protection. He gave me the survival gift of likability. Being liked was important to me. I became the second daughter in many of my friends' homes. I became the friend of the family babysitter. I went the extra mile to be liked. If I could be liked, I could be loved. If I could blend in, I could belong. He gave me the survival gift of a stiff upper lip. I need to feel in control of something. I knew I couldn't control the chaos, although I tried by tiptoeing around it. Something in my spirit soared just a little bit when I learned I could control my reaction to it. I could swallow my tears. I could put an unbroken face on. I could stuff my emotions and preserve my own dignity. He gave me the survival gift of ambition. Instead of giving up when I was told I wouldn't amount to anything, I got busy. And the need to prove something drove me to succeed. I became the first person in my adopted family and my birth family to graduate from college. After that, I worked hard to bubble to the top of every company I worked for. Do just a little more. Be just a little better. He gave me the survival gift of escape. God gave me an incredible imagination. It provided a place I could go to leave the noise and chaos behind for a while. God gave me all that I needed to grow up physically, and then He gave me what I needed to grow up emotionally and spiritually. What's changed? I asked Jesus to take up residence in my heart in my first year of college. I have been crucified with Christ. It's no longer I who live, but Christ lives in me. And the life which I now live in the flesh, I live by faith in the Son of God who loved me and gave Himself for me. Borrowing a line from Apple's Playbook, the only thing that's changed is everything. Those gifts that served me so well as a child no longer fit the woman I've become in Christ. I've outgrown them. It's like trying to wear a size 2 pair of jeans when I need a size 10-ish. They not only hinder my movement, they suffocate me. I no longer need the approval of man because I'm a daughter of the King. I belong to Him. I don't have to be liked by everyone. I'm accepted in the Beloved. I no longer need to hide behind a stiff upper lip. I can join the ranks of humanity and share my brokenness. I no longer need to prove anything. I can cease striving and learn to be. I no longer need to escape. I can learn to be present, letting go of childish things. I'm learning to let go, but it is hard. I live with those survival gifts so long that it's hard to part with them. I tend to put them away like Christmas boxes in the attic and take them down every now and then. How do I get them out of the house of my heart once and for all? Is it even possible? You already know the answer to that, don't you? But Jesus looked at them and said, "With men this is impossible, but with God all things are possible. I can't, He can, so I'll let Him." I like this picture I've seen floating around on Facebook. It reminds me that I can't receive what He wants to give me if my hands are full. I need to lay those survival gifts down and turn my open palms to heaven and receive His abundant gifts for today. Sunshine on my face, a good cry, being present, hearing the sound of His voice, joyful walks, holding my husband's hand, being the mom I wished I had, laughing with friends, comfortable in my own skin, a good cup of coffee, hope for tomorrow, serenity for today. I can't, He can, so I'll let Him. My part is to be willing to stay in His presence, to be washed in the truth of His word, to pick up my cross and follow Him, trust Him, let go of childish things. Time to upgrade? What obsolete gifts do you still cling to? Are they getting in the way of you grasping the abundant gifts we're promised today? Would you be brave and bold and willing to lay them down and receive all that He has for you today? Want to go deeper on today's topic? Don't forget to download the study guide, and don't forget to share the joy.